What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are continuing our realistic rebuild of the Cleveland Browns. This is year 6 through 10, and we are hungry for a Super Bowl. We have hit a cold patch. We have gone 35 years, 3.5 rebuilds without a Super Bowl title. Now, we made the Super Bowl with the Browns, and that is an upgrade over the last couple rebuilds that we have performed on the channel, but it's still not good enough. And I put out a guarantee that I would win a Super Bowl at some point over the next 5 years, because we're too good not to. This team is simply we're already we're starting this rebuild as a 91 overall, and almost all of our pieces are in their prime. So I'm feeling like years 6, 7, and 8 are going to be incredibly important for the squad if we're going to want to maximize, especially guys like Odell, who's what is he, 28 now? 31? Oh my God, I'm way off there. Well, Odell's the ill here. Myles Garrett has been amazing. We got guys on the come up here. And I guess the big question was, we're pretty uncertain about ourselves as a rebuilder, because it feels like we lost the stuff. We need to get that water bottle that says Michael's secret stuff, and we need to be able to drink it like in Space Jam, because I feel like I've lost it. The magic is gone, and it is for the second part of this Browns rebuild that we can recapture the magic of the realistic rebuild series and start winning Super Bowl, start winning titles, start feeling like we're actually half decent at this game. So it's a very important stretch here as we get ready for year 6 through 10 for part 2 of the realistic rebuild of the Cleveland Browns. I don't want to dwell around. I don't want to keep working myself into being a worry ward, about worried about what the next 5 years is going to hold. I just want to get in, I want to win a Super Bowl, and I want to move on. So let's get into year number 6. So, free agency, the first free agency, we have no money. We have pretty much $2 million worth of salary cap, and while there is some very exciting players that I would love to welcome to my team, especially at wide receiver, which we're going to have to go heavy during the draft, but you're seeing guys, DeAndre Swift in the backfield, Grant Delpit would be a nice upgrade, Chase Young, Isaiah, we just gone a different route when it comes to our salaries. So unfortunately, we're going to have to sit this free agency out, even though there's tremendous talent. Maybe this actually might be one of the more stacked classes I've ever seen, especially with new young players in it. So for our first draft, everything outside of grabbing a wide receiver or two pretty much fell into place for us. It was a really, really good draft for those, UDFA late round linemen, as you'll see. But we got our new special teams. We got Hoskins and Crowder, 67 and 68 respectively. We got a 70 tackle at Ohio State. Kevin Grant in the 5th round at Tennessee, 71 hidden dev trait. He was a top 30 player in true talent, and we got him in the pretty much late 5th. 69 tackle, 70 tackle, 69 linebackers, 69 wide receivers. The only wide receiver getting the fastest 40 in the combine. 94 speed looks pretty solid, but again, we might have to dip back into free agency. And usually in free agency, there are decent overall wide receivers still available when it comes back to the preseason, stuff like that. Second round, we get a 70 D tackle, but Von Bell has regressed. Von Bell's regressed like 3 points, 3 points in the offseason, so we need to start looking at strong safety. We had Kyle McLean, 77 hidden dev out of Oregon State. Really nice looking player. Great speed, can tackle well, 75 man coverage. He's aware, he's a smart rookie, and hell, we might need to find a way to get him on the field as a rookie. Year 6 for the Cleveland Browns, and boy, oh boy, we need Baker Mayfield to play well. We were able to get some decent talent in free agency. We got Cam Akers, 77, Devin Duvernay, 77, and Jalen Reagor, 79 off the free agency heap before the season started to kind of add some more depth to our skill positions, but not a whole lot of weapons. I mean, that's not bad though. Reagor 79, he's only 25 with 95 speed, pretty good catching. Duvernay 77, he's only 25, 96 speed. So I mean, these guys are somewhat favorable. You still got a 99 running back, 95 in Odell, almost a 90 overall tight end in Njoku. Offensive line really, really solid. I think one of the better offensive lines in the AFC. Flipping to the defense. Again, there's no real weaknesses to this team. What I actually am going to do is I'm going to take Mr. Von Bell. We're going to make him our free safety so that we can let McNeil go at strong right off the rip, get the most out of those young rookie snaps for a player with a hidden dev trait. And Von Bell did not fluctuate. I mean, Von Bell's a true safety. He's not going to fluctuate from free or strong. So, we're feeling good. I'm feeling good about this team. I think we could scrap and claw our way into the gauntlet, wild card, something like that in year 6. It's coming out of our bye, 4-2 here in year 6. I like seeing that's a good spot to be. Just one game back behind the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC North. Contracts. It is time to make some fairly tough decisions. I know the direction I want to go for a lot of these positions, but not all. So first off the rip, Josh Myers at center. I do want to bring him back, extend him 5 years if he'll take that. He is a top priority, and I would like to also think Asante Samuel will be top priority because he's currently our nickel corner. 24.77, you want to continue to grow and develop that. That looks like a very reasonable deal. Von Bell, we essentially have his replacement. He's 29, so it's not a great age. Joe Schobert, he's 30, and it's more so just that cap hit is not great for us at this given point. We have a replacement at D tackle. Takk McKinley has been producing fairly well. I actually have been pretty happy with his production since we signed him. You know, he's so far to this point in the rebuild, he's our biggest money free agency signing. But when you are getting a little bit tight in the salary cap and you have a Myles Garrett, you kind of want Myles Garrett to carry the slack. You don't really need two really, really good edge rushers. So I think it's going to be in our team's best interest to cut a little bit of the fat just because we only had $1 million worth of offseason budget. We'll re-sign Samuel, and then we'll go into it thinking, worst case scenario, we'll probably still have enough money to offer Takk an offer on the open market. If not, we can look at, bringing in some skill position players or adding more depth where we need it. And at the end of year 6... to kick things off, we get to add another divisional title to the old scoreboard. Our 4th divisional title in 6 years for the Cleveland Browns, winning the AFC North with an 11-5 record, which is pretty damn good, I think. GM wants to congratulate us. What are we going to get? To give us morale or something like that? Hey, whole team plus 20 morale. Hopefully that helps us out. Look at the stats here. Baker Mayfield played pretty well with a put together, even though there was some talent there, don't get me wrong, but really Odell was his only returning receiver. Yeah, that's a good year. 3,500 yards, 31 touchdowns, 6 picks. I find it very suspicious that he has 3,500 exactly, but to each their own. 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns for Nick Chubb, who is an absolute monster. Receiving, we had 81 catches, 940, and 12 from Odell. Again, more evidence that star wide receivers do nothing, because now there's no Jarvis Landry. There's no Hollywood Higgins. He is the go-to guy, and he's still, the touchdowns look good. That's not a bad year, but, for a 90-some guy that should be getting really 100 targets, it's just, I don't know, it's not in a good spot, man. It's something that if I had to put my nitpick, we nitpicked how, QB rushing numbers were awful in this game, and they're still not amazing, but it's improved. I think the next thing that needs to get looked at under the hood, without a shadow of a doubt, is outside wide receivers in the Madden sim. Rager coming in, 6-5, not too bad. Joku, big year, 9 touchdowns as well. Where's Duvernay? Duvernay didn't do anything? Cool, great. Thanks for coming here and taking my money. Joe Schobert, 108 tackles. We got 17.5 sacks from Myles Garrett, 9 from Ogunjobi, 8.5 from Takk McKinley. So both those guys set to be free agents. But again, when you got someone like Myles Garrett, I feel like it's nice having talent around him, high-level talent. But I feel like when you have a guy like Myles Garrett, he's your centerpiece. We don't need to have top-tier dollars and Ogunjobi and Takk McKinley around him. If we could just, fill Myles Garrett in with low 80s. We don't need other 90s with him. We can spend that money elsewhere to improve our offense. 4 picks for Denzel Ward, like seeing that. The awards, MVP went to Justin Fields. In the AFC, Jordan Love. We got Miles Jack, Tim Rowland, Kyle McLean for the Cleveland Browns coming as your Defensive Rookie of the Year. Like seeing that for individual awards. Not seeing a whole lot of Cleveland Browns there, but this is the year we will take team success over individual success. I'm going to take team success over individual success until we can get a goddamn Super Bowl. So we're going to start off here against the 10-6 Houston Texans in year 6. All right, we're just going to straight up sim this game. It's game 1, year 1 of part 2. I feel like we don't need to hit the panic button, even though it's looming. It is definitely looming with our lack of postseason success so far with this. Really our last month of rebuilds. So, we can't take this for granted, but I feel like we should let the team do some work here. And look, we're winning. We're winning as we go into the 4th quarter. We have a 4th quarter lead, up 7, kick a field goal, up 10, 2-score game. Defense came up strong. It looks like they got a turnover, and we're able to get a touchdown. I think we're punching our ticket to the Afc Championship game here in year 6. I desperately need a Super Bowl 4, fellas. I desperately need one. I woke up this morning being like, oh, man. Why did they make the scouting combine 5 o'clock? I love waking up at 9 a.m. and watching the combine. I was like, all right, well, I might as well play the Browns rebuild. I was like, oh, no, the Browns rebuild. I got to win a Super Bowl. I have to win a Super Bowl. And luckily enough, look, Good result so far. 27-10, the Browns knock out the Houston Texans to move on to the AFC Championship game. Looks like just a well-rounded effort. Solid game from Baker Mayfield. Nick Chubb almost 100 yards on the day. I'm happy with it. Very tough game. We're going up against Jordan Love, who's at least on paper the best quarterback in the AFC right now. Derrick Henry, Jalen Waddle, and the Tennessee Titans. Very good offense. These aren't your dad's Tennessee Titans. These are very explosive Tennessee Titans that haven't set back the passing offense by 50 years. So it's looking like a real tough game. 17-17. Everything to play for in the second half. Browns are looking very confident, even though we missed an extra point. Does that make me mad? You goddamn right it does. Oh, if we lose a game by an extra point, I'm going to be not a happy camper. Third down, we're coming in. I'll come in for a play. 3rd and 3, just to see if I could somehow get these guys a touchdown and make up for the Sim missing an extra point. We have none of our big receivers out there outside of Odell. I don't care. Njoku is going to be my read all the way. Oh! Big grab. Big grab up to the 2-yard line. The Titans are worried. What kind of play was that? All out blitz. They gambled big time. Defense needs to get a stop. There we go. We're going to the Super Bowl. It only took us 1 season. And we're going to the Super Bowl here in year 6, which is key because we have no money to spend really in free agency. This is always as good as our team's going to be for, I like to think, for the next 2-3 years. Solid game for Mayfield, 81% completion percentage. Our defense has been coming to play. Jordan Love did not take the game over. Over 100 yards for Nick Chubb. And we're going to the Super Bowl. Let's go! So our Super Bowl is against an 8-8 Saints team. I don't even want to know. They got Justin Herbert, Michael Thomas, Kareem Hunt, former Brown Kareem Hunt, Dorian O'Daniel, Ramchick Lattimore, and Teron Armstead make up the superstars. Okay, and they're 8-8. Good to know. I'm going to say we're going to lose by 30 points. So I'll play. I might hop in if it looks a little weird, but I just think it's not. I played enough Madden Sim to know that this is just going to be weird no matter what happens. But our defense has been playing well down the stretch. I like the fact that it's not like we're seeing teams and quarterbacks go for like 5 touchdowns against us like we have in years past. And we're opened up with a 14-3 lead. We've yet to give up a touchdown here to an 8-8 squad. My God, our defense has been sensational. And I think we're going to break the 36-year streak of not winning a Super Bowl in a rebuild when we kick it off year 1. Yes! Wow, who would have thought one of the best teams, a team with a first-round bye, would handle an 8-8 team just like they should, more often than not. And the Cleveland Browns, in year 6 of the 10-year rebuild, have won their Super Bowl. And we needed that, man. We absolutely needed that. We won 6 divisional titles, 0 Super Bowls with the Patriots. We won 4 divisional titles, 0 Super Bowls with the Cardinals. We won only 1 divisional title and 0 Super Bowls with the Broncos. And then we get the Browns. And I picked the Browns, knowing that it should be a somewhat easy W. Put us back in the win column. Great game for Baker Mayfield there. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Yet we went through the whole first 5 years of the Browns with no postseason success to show for it. We had 3 divisional titles, but that doesn't, what is that? That's not what you want. That's first base when you thought you were going all the way home to Pound Town. But here we go in year 6, Baker Mayfield feeling dangerous. We won it. And, we left this question, a frustrating question at the end of the first part of this rebuild because like I said, we went 35 years of the Super Bowl. I was trying to figure out what is the winning formula. What did we do different this year with the Browns than we did other years? Literally nothing. We drafted a new safety. Now, I'm about to embark on another positional weighted value of importance in the sim. I have just some hidden, I don't know why I want to say it, that safeties have something to do in the sim. Like more so than any other position. I just feel like when teams that are consistently going deep, they have big safeties. We drafted a hidden dev trait safety. That was a big change. We see like the Jets, for example, in my Rip City franchise. The Jets are unbelievable. Even though we beat them, they were like on like the only thing day and night Jets changed was they had Derwin James and Jamal Adams at safety. I don't know. It's just it's just something that I'm kind of working on. I'm going to pay attention to a little bit more. But safeties is a position that for sim success, I want to keep an eye on. We had pretty good safety play here this year with Von Bell and obviously our brand new fancy toy that we got in the first round in McLean, who is your defensive rookie of the year. But either way, in year 6, I get to go the old rebuild Excel sheet and put in a win and make that little space, and we're going to shade it the color gold, because no matter what happens from here on out, the Cleveland Browns is a successful rebuild. So now, let's make up for the last 35 years before we won the Super Bowl, and let's win like 3 or 4 to make us feel good about ourselves. Again, another free agency period that I don't think we're going to be able to be buyers in. It would be nice to bring back time. We only have $5 million worth of cap for this year. So I think similar to last season, we might just have to wait and see who's kind of left at the end of free agency, which is annoying, as we are defending Super Bowl champions, and there are some players, especially at positions of need, that look pretty damn good. But we just, with $5 million, I mean, there's no wiggle room. We got no one we can get realistically, and if we sign anyone that's like in the 80s, we're most likely gonna have like $1 million worth of salary. So I'd rather just wait till the dust settles, get some guys on very affordable deals like we did last year with Rager and Devin Duvernay, and hopefully we have an outstanding draft. So we're kind of handicapped with how much money we could spend in free agency. We wanted to err on the side of caution, so we had to have a good draft. We had plenty of draft picks, and we had a sensational draft. We finessed a couple of offensive linemen late. We got a 4th round 72 tackle. I love that value. 70 D tackle and Luke Porter. We got a 68 tight end, 70 safety, 69 DM. But the best pick, Dave Nelson, outside linebacker from Harvard, 76 with a hidden dev. He was like number 9 in true talent. We got him at 32. Not only did we get him at 32, we got him at a position that we needed. We needed to bring in another linebacker, 100%. More so to replace Joe Schobert. And I don't know how well he's going to transition inside, as he is a speed rusher. But his stats aren't bad. I mean, for like a cover guy, almost 70 zone coverage. His tackling is 80. It's nothing too crazy that we could slide him inside. I don't think his rating would take too big of a hit. But either way, we just needed to add a linebacker, and we got one in spades here in Dave Nelson. Year 7 is here, trying to defend our Super Bowl title, and our squad has gone over a little bit of turnover yet again, but it is a lot of familiar names of this team. This is a Super Bowl winning squad that we look to build upon here again. So Mayfield's 92, we got a 99 Chubb. OBJ has regressed down to a 92 overall. The supporting cast is still not great, but it worked. I don't know. Maybe that was the formula. Maybe we had too many good players. If you have too many good players, the Madden Sim hates you. Because as soon as we start adding some bronzes, we start bronzing up this offense, they start playing better. Offensive line is still outstanding. Average overall on our O-line is like an 85, 86 overall. On the defense, here's where things are going through quite a big change. Allen's going to start at D-tackle. No more Ogunjobi. We took Blackstock, actually, and we converted him from defensive end from defensive tackle, to a defensive end. Because he's, 285. That's like a Cam Jordan 4-3 defensive end. It's a little big, but it's nothing too worried about there. Secondary still looks good. Nelson will start at linebacker. We flipped Troy Dye inside to take over for Joe Schobert. Richie Grant was a late free agency signing to start at free safety, along with McLean, who came up with his hidden dev came up as a star, which is not great. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do now. Like, Nelson better be superstar. Like, 95% of our hidden devs have been stars so far in this Browns rebuild. So let's get into year 7 and try to defend our Super Bowl title with a very nice squad with some underrated position players. Pretty cool dev trade scenario here in year 7. Devin Duvernay, when going from normal to a star dev, plus getting 10,000 XP. He is our slot wide receiver, so he's getting a lot of targets in the sim. But we just need, we need help getting more dev traits, more, our skill position guys are old, getting old. I don't want to say old because Nick Chubb's not that old, but Nick Chubb, there's not much behind him. Odell, not much behind him. So now with a guy like Devin Duvernay getting a dev trade, he's like 26. It's a big help to the longevity of our skill position players. Coming out of our bye here in year 7, 3-2, not great, not bad. It's a competitive AFC North. It's not great, it's not bad. Contracts, fairly, you can be a little bit picky this year. Looking at Blackstock here, we don't have a whole lot of money, which is never ideal. I think he continue to grow and develop as a defensive end. Okay, he wants more money. Leatherwood for sure needs to get, let's be honest, top priority here. 88, almost a 90 overall tackle, so we got him locked up. And Joker's probably going to have to go. Really outside of that first year 1 of the rebuild where he had almost 1,000 yards. Been a little bit disappointing for what his rating is as at the tight end spot. So we'll see if we can get Blackstock and Gordon locked up, and we'll plan to move on at tight end. And in year 7, we follow up our Super Bowl winning year by going 9-7. It's kind of competitive AFC North here. Came runner-up, but definitely a disappointing season. I mean, we're kind of hampered by the salary cap. There's going to have to come a point in time. Hopefully we get Odell retires sooner than later. We got a $100 million deal in Nick Chubb. There's our guys are getting old, and we have them in big contracts, and there's not a lot of money to go around to bring in young players. Baker Mayfield, down year for sure. Nothing impressive about that. Real consistent from Nick Chubb. Duvernay, 900 yards, 7 touchdowns, and a nice shiny new dev trait. Odell, disappointing year. Njoku, that's not a terrible year by a tight end by any means. Rager, solid season. Defensively, 14.5 sacks, Myles Garrett, 8 from Cedric Allen. 4 picks, Denzel Ward. Interceptions actually are up on the team. I like seeing that. Yearly awards, Justin Fields, back-to-back MVPs to start this rebuild. Lamar Jackson, Miles Jack. I don't think we're going to see anyone. Hey, there we go. Myles Garrett, your best D lineman. I love that's pretty much almost automatic at this point. But just a real bad, weird, off year for sure here in year 7. Let's get into year 8. Minus $10 million. A lot of nice looking players in there, but we're going to actually have to remove players. So, great. How do we free up $10 million? Like, Odell has been bad, but we can't get rid of that contract. I honestly have no idea how we're going to get under the salary cap. Like, Cedric Allen's like our second best young player. We're not getting rid of him. Denzel Ward's been playing at a high level. I mean, we can get rid of a lot of our depth. We'll see what happens. I get rid of a lot of our depth. See if we can get it close so we only have to get rid of 1 star. Just give me a sec. Went from 10 million, as you can see from the top. We got it down to 500. I had a bunch of guys that were just signed to like 800K contracts. Like a bunch. 11? 12? Like that. We freed up almost $9 million of that. So we were just, 500K over. We're going to have to get rid of one of our promising linebackers here in Nixon, which is a little annoying. But it frees up. There we go. 800 grand. Now we are officially, with that move, under the salary. Almost $2 million. That's not bad, but of course, we can't sign anybody. Really solid draft. Consider that we came in with cap hell. It just wasn't a fun offseason. It wasn't top heavy. Like, I let the computer sim out here. Let's see. We got a couple 60s. Really, I bailed after my 4th round pick. I had 4 guys that I really, really wanted. 4th round, we got 68 tackle and Landry. 3rd round, we got a 68 hidden dev wide receiver in Pearson Divins from Notre Dame, slot wide receiver. Brings some pretty good route running ability. 2nd round, no more Njoku. So we got a 1st round, mid-1st round grade on a tight end. We were going to pull the trigger in Morgan Lacasse from New Hampshire. 69 hidden dev. Again, looks solid. Looks fairly solid. Again, if that depth chart can come in and anything that's going to be generous will be nice. And then we got the number 3 player in the draft in Melvin Bush, 78, normal dev, defensive end. Just pretty much went BPA. It was between him and a corner that went to the Titans. I thought he went to the Titans. He went real late in the 1st round. Whatever, I can just look here. It was like the 32nd pick. Oh, the Lions. This guy. Dwayne Leary. He's the guy we passed up on. Let's just see. We got a 78 normal, or we could have had it's a star dev. At this point, I don't care about star devs. I have too many of those. So it was a solid draft. We'll kick off things here for year number 8. Looking for our 2nd Super Bowl. This is the offense. How bad has Odell regressed? He's out under the 90s, which is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Let's get Divins up on the depth chart here just so we can get some snaps, make him wide receiver 3 or 4. A tight end, we'll take Lacasse, make him, There's 25's blocker. Let's make Lacasse our starter there at tight end. Offensive line remains intact. Defensively, we do have Bush. I mean, here's where we'll move pieces around. Blackstock was a defensive at tackle that we moved to a defensive end. So let's slide him back into D tackle. And then we'll use the number 3 player in the draft, even though he doesn't have a depth trait. We'll put him right out there at defensive end. We'll start with Myles Garrett. Linebacking core looks solid. Nelson, of course, our hidden dev linebacker, came out as a star because that's all we can get at this point. Okay, let's go, man. So, again, transition year. Got some young faces we're not familiar with at free safety. We got Bethel. He's a scheme fit, but let's keep going, man. Oh, and I actually don't think Mac Wilson wasn't a superstar. Now he's a superstar, Dev? Is he? Was he a superstar last year? He might have been, and I'm just being oblivious to one of my best players on my team. However, let's get into it. Year 8, Baker Mayfield. Probably the last good year we have Odell. Let's lay it on the line. Out of the bye week in year 8, we're 2-3. However, that is top of the AFC North. No dev traits, I don't think, unveiled yet for the tight end. That's kind of what we're waiting for, the third, fourth string wide receiver. As we're just holding out hope that one of these guys comes with the dev. So contracts, some big contracts here. Hopefully, obviously they're gonna be a little bit cheaper than their initial deal, so we're gonna have some money to hopefully spend. So first up, we got Myles Garrett. Absolutely, we're pretty much gonna have to pay whatever it costs to retain Myles Garrett because he's the best defensive end we've had in a rebuild. And now, am I annoyed that we're literally gonna be able to probably sign just Garrett, Denzel Ward, and we're gonna have we might not even be able to bring back Denzel Ward. I can't offer Denzel Ward a contract until we get Myles Garrett locked up. That is now the top priority. At the end of year 8, yeah, we made the playoffs. We got an opportunity to run the gauntlet, 10-6. We didn't win the division, which is annoying. We're still sitting there on 4 divisional titles through 8 seasons. We can't extend. I couldn't even throw an offer out to Denzel Ward. We were like $400,000 over the salary cap. We were going to even propose a half respectable offer. And I'm not going to disrespect him by lowballing him, but we did get Myles Garrett locked up, and you'll see why. Good news. Some good news is that our tight end Lacasse is superstar dev. About damn time we got something that can come out and help our players here. I don't know what his abilities are going to be or anything like that, but really nice looking tight end. Already looks to be a better upgrade than when we had it in Njoku, and he was a really solid tight end. I think that's all we really found out for dev traits this year. Performance-wise, again, not great for Baker Mayfield. Probably should try to replace him, if I'm going to be honest with you. As soon as we might be able to get out of a contract, it will alleviate so much pressure from our team and from a team-building aspect. 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns for Chubb, 5 and 11 for Akers, so a dominant running attack, even 5 touchdowns from Baker Mayfield. 9-3 for Duvernay, 6-2 from Odell, 5-5 Rager, 5-8 from Lacasse. Defensively, 108 tackles from Troy Dye, 16 sacks, Myles Garrett. He's amazing. 4 picks, Asante Samuel Jr. I like seeing that. Yearly awards, Lamar Jackson is your MVP in the AFC. Lamar's there. Myles Garrett is your Defensive Player of the Year. Again, showing why he's still worth pretty much any money. It's almost a blank check to make sure Myles Garrett stays on this Cleveland Browns team. Lacasse is your Offensive Rookie of the Year. Melvin Bush is your Defensive Rookie of the Year. The Browns are running away with it. Best running back is Nick Chubb. Best D lineman is Myles Garrett. Hell yeah. Best kicker. So a lot of individual success to go with some decent team success here in year 8 for the Cleveland Browns. Our GM wants to give our players some morale boosts. Our unnameless GM, like it's a crappy wrestling angle. The unanimous, or whatever the hell. Unknown. What was the thing they did with wrestling? Didn't they have there's a name for it with Michael Cole? I don't know. I don't even really remember. I don't really watch a whole lot of wrestling. I just really remember that. Either way, we made the playoffs, and it's against 9. So let's just get this one over with. A single-digit win Charger team in the playoffs. Good night, right? We don't even need to get in here and try. This is going to be an ass whooping. Anonymous GM. I remember. Okay. So, let's get into it. We're playing fairly well here. We bring up some murmurs that the front office is not happy with Baker Mayfield's play given how much money he's getting paid. And then he comes out, he probably is going to have 3 touchdowns all said and done. But look at the defense. Playing very well. The last hurrah potentially for Denzel Ward as a member of our squad. And I think we're going to pitch a shutout here. Or damn well near a shutout. An insanely strong defensive performance here from the Cleveland Browns in year 8 wild card round. 2 touchdowns there for Baker Mayfield. Over 100 yards for Nick Chubb. Over 100 yards for Odell. This could be the last hurrah for a lot of the guys here. Our core players. So they want to make it memorable. We're going to run the gauntlet. And just like that, we've moved to the AFC divisional round. Snow game against Buffalo. It's fine. You know, it's not like we're the California team. We're a cold weather team here in Cleveland. It shouldn't be that ridiculous. Even though it's pretty ridiculous thus far. 10 points. Come on, defense. Come on, offense. That's not looking good, though. This might be too little too late for this Browns team. But they're not putting us away. Just like that, we got the lead. Because this Browns team let us hang around, or the Bills team let us hang around. There's a lot of nonsense going on. And we're able to come in, get a touchdown while they were settling for extended drives and 3 points. We just get big bang boom, tutty, tutty, tutty. And we're moving on. Nick Chubb, give this man the game ball. He's carrying the offense right now as we head back to the AFC Championship game. Rematch. The Titans are here. We are here. I can't, insert Paul Rudd Hot Ones meme. I can't believe. Who would think we would have been here? Not me. Back again against the Titans. And this is, again, a very dangerous Tennessee Titan team. But we might have the formula on how to beat them. We could just be like the Patriots to their Colts in the AFC. When Brady would just always beat Manning. So we get a nice little lead here. 9 points. Extending that. Looking for the Super Bowl after being abysmal last year. But you gotta remember, 2 years ago, we were the best team in the National Football League. And all these guys want to go out and win it for maybe Odell's last hurrah and Denzel Ward's last hurrah, at least with this team. Baker Mayfield finally having a great game, 71% completion percentage, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns as the Browns dump all over the Titans, 43-17, and are getting back to the Super Bowl. Our 3rd Super Bowl of the Browns rebuild, but hopefully we can make it our 2nd win. And in the Super Bowl, taking on the Detroit Lions. How did they get here? They got Jake Fromm, who we know from the Patriots rebuild is a very good sim quarterback. I don't know if we had Fromm. We did have Fromm up to an X Factor. Trey Flowers, Matt Milano. They got Jerry Jeudy, Hawkinson, Sean Wade, Shakatoni, Denzel Mims, Kenny Galladay, Riley Bowman. They got a lot of talent. They got, wow. So they got an X Factor who's throwing it to Jeudy, who's a superstar, Hawkinson, a superstar, Mims, who's a superstar, Galladay. So literally at all levels, this is an elite passing attack. Denzel Ward, this is going to be truly his last game with the Browns. Got to put on an absolute clinic. Lead that group to shut down the skill position players of the Detroit Lions and get this team our 2nd Super Bowl. My God, though, the skill... I was actually thinking about being the Lions. Like, if I didn't need this rebuild to be an easy win, I think Detroit's going to be the next realistic rebuild team. And wow, that's good. If this team that they've assembled is kind of the pace car that has been set, we have our work cut out for us. So it's a high-scored Super Bowl so far, 14-17. Neither team is really letting the other one get a lot of momentum. I do not like the fact that Detroit got that quick score, but it is a prolific offense with Jake Fromm slinging the rock, but they cannot stop us. We can't stop them. They can't stop us. It's like almost like the Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl. Well, who's going to get the big defensive play that's going to turn this game on its head? And it looks like it's going to be we'll come in for one play here. 4th and 1 to see if we could. It's too little, too late for the most part. We'll go stick. Odell is our guy. That's off coverage. It's gonna be tough for him to get behind. So we'll just take the simple pass to Nick Chubb. Odell, no, they're doing the best Odell impression ever. Just letting a block off and not playing hard for his teammates. Classic him. But we'll see if we can get him a nice little touchdown here. Good. Too easy. There we go. Make it at least make it look like a more epic Super Bowl there. The touchdown doesn't really matter. Tried to make the odd side. Didn't. And the Detroit Lions won the Super Bowl. And I think a classic. 45-42. Just unreal how you can contain all those superstar players for the Lions. 5 touchdowns for Fromm. 4 for Mayfield. High-scoring game. Annoying that we didn't win the Super Bowl, but that's a really good Detroit Lions team. So, let's get into year 9. Proof of the pudding that we can't bring back one of the greats from this rebuild, Denzel Ward. We really don't have anywhere near the kind of money that we can re-sign him. So, let's pay a little bit of respect. Where is he at statistically? What has he done to this point? I feel like he was averaging 3-4 picks a year for a decent amount of his time here with us. There we go. So, he's going to finish this year with the Browns, his career. 650 tackles and 25 interceptions, which is pretty damn good. I actually do have some salary cap that, it's a little wiggle room, $5 million. I don't know necessarily who we could sign. Maybe this guy? Can I get this guy? Oh, hell yeah, we could get this guy. 2587. That guy's superstar. Either way, we'll go with the younger player. There we go. We'll make one move here and get better at safety. So, getting a draft recap here. It was just more of a BPA. Who's still there, who's not there. No one below a 60, which is good. But our premier picks, we got Mario Hernandez, 73 base, normal dev wide receiver. He was a top 30 in talent. As you can see, that's actually really good stats. And then, just cuss. About time to get another quarterback in the pipeline. We got Gary Shepard out of Vandy, 75 hidden dev. Maybe the next Jay Cutler, especially with that 93 throw power. Just to have someone behind Baker Mayfield in case we want to get crazy for the final year of this rebuild. Year 9 is here for the Cleveland Browns. And we still are maintaining our reputation as one of the best teams in the league. 91s across the board. Very old. I mean, wide receiver is really the big question mark. As, Nick Chubb is starting to regress. 3-point regression. But wide receivers are the big question. We just don't have, that's what happens when you pay everyone else. When you have that good of an offensive line, you have that good of a quarterback, that good of a running back. You look at the defense, you've been paying Myles Garrett. You got a couple 90s over there. Some position has to suffer. And unfortunately, we're still going to be relying on Odell, Gross, and Divins to carry the load here this season for the wide receivers. On the defensive side, like I said, it's pretty much as is. No real big changes or anything crazy like that. Outside of landing McDonald at free safety and free agency, this is going to be the same team that we're going to have to hope can continue to just churn out AFC North titles. So it's a fairly late bye week here, and we're 4-5, which is garbage. This year's pretty much going to be a wash. We got to look at contracts for guys that we want to be here for the final year of the rebuild. So we got Mack Wilson. For sure, we'd like him to be back here. Veteran, has been really solid. Ben Bredesen at guard. We're not going to be able to find a replacement that's nearly even up to his level. Same goes with Cassidy Nolan on the inside of this offensive line. That we're going to need Nick Chubb just to keep on doing his thing. Greedy Williams still playing at a high level. So we'll see if we can get him back on a one-year deal. The depth guys are solid. It's just we don't have the money to. We're going to have to pick and choose. I feel like that's not that crazy for Odell. If he's going to be a veteran, if we can keep him for the final year, of course. Now the question comes to Baker Mayfield. I want to see what his stats are at the end of the year, and then we'll determine if he's really the guy that we're going to go with, or we're going to rock with the Vandy quarterback for year 10 of the Browns. Because clearly this year, it's just not good enough. At the end of year 9, no playoffs for the Browns. Not good at all. 5-10-1. And it looks like we're going to have a change in the guard here. Baker Mayfield, not good. Shepard came out superstar to have 81 superstar. He's an 80, obviously there's a big 11-point difference, but Baker's not playing well, and I feel like if we just give the young guy the quarterback spot for the final year, maybe he can make some magic happen. Because we made the switch to Mayfield. I think we gave Shepard the last 4 games. Because Baker Mayfield was like mid-20s for all of his stats. He wasn't particularly special, and as you can see, if Shepard at least started the same amount of games, from a statistical standpoint, probably would have been where Baker Mayfield's at. So why lock in all that money for Baker Mayfield when we can spend that money elsewhere to improve our skill position players? For an example, another solid year for Nick Chubb. Down year for wide receivers. No one really had a great season. Defensively, Troy Dye, tackle machine, 138 tackles, 14 sacks. Myles Garrett, a couple picks across the board. Yearly awards MVP went to Lamar Jackson. In the AFC, Lamar Jackson's there. Zach Cunningham. Gary Shepard is your offensive rookie of the year. Would love for somehow him to get a sneaky X Factor dev trait. Quinn Barker, defensive rookie of the year. So individual success is oh wow, that might be the first time Myles Garrett didn't win. It feels like the first time he hasn't won defensive lineman of the year. But then again, we're 5-10-1. How much credit can you give a guy when his team is one of the worst in the league? So it sets everything up for year 10, trying to get our first big 2-bomb. I mean, I think we only had one. The very first episode with the Raiders was the only time we've ever won more than one Super Bowl. We got the Super Bowl win with the Eagles, but that was it. So we're searching for that deuce, the second Super Bowl for the Cleveland Browns. And it's all on the line here in year 10 with a brand new quarterback. The Baker Mayfield era in Cleveland is over. So for our final free agency period, we're going to try and land the biggest fish in the pond in Caleb Chasson and move into defensive end to play with Myles Garrett. Very competitive offers, though, from the other team, so I don't know. Maybe we could get him. Because we're betting on a wide receiver here that we should get. Maybe we can offer him a little less. And then offer Chasson a little more kind of deal. Like, do something like that. Because, I mean, 83 wide receiver would be nice. He's a scheme fit, but I think adding someone like Chasson could really take our team over the edge. Having him come off that edge. There we go. 106. Okay, there we go. That's the best average we can do. And we also, because we've had so much Coach XP, we've bought all of the free agency boosts. I hope both these guys tear their ACLs next year. So for our final draft, we went out and tried to get our new quarterback, Gary Shepard, the best weapon possible. I'm not gonna lie, I simmed it after the second round. It was a very weak draft class. Our second round, we got 70 overall defensive end out of UCLA, scheme fit. But this was number 5 at pick 5, Terrence Montgomery, 76 overall wide receiver from Texas. Great speed, great catching, pure deep threat. I absolutely think he's going to tear it up this year. I think he's going to go for 1,000 yards. We're going to put him in that slot position. He's going to feast. So for our final year, new look Browns, we aren't technically as good as we were last year from an overall standpoint, but I still think the higher your overall is, the more disadvantaged you are in the Madden sim. Call me crazy. So this is our team. Odell is actually retired, which is annoying. So that sucks. But I mean, even though Odell's, when we look at his stats where he averaged 800 yards and 6 touchdowns a season. So out with the old, in with the new. We got hungry, young, skill position players, which is exactly what we need. Nick Chubb still doing his thing. No more Baker Mayfield. Offensive line is probably the best offensive line in the league. Everyone's a 90. We got Lacasse, really good tight end. Defensively, Myles Garrett still playing at a very high level. No weaknesses. I don't really think there's any weakness. Like, you'd look at it, maybe our third corner, but he was the defensive rookie of the year last year. Quinn Barker. So really happy with this team. I love the fact that we're going younger at some of these positions. So we could see, definitely need to bring in probably another running back. Can't have a 36 overall fullback being the backup at running back. But I'm really happy with this squad. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people here in year 10. Don't let that Week 17 loss to the Steelers fool you. We were outstanding this year. Purging the old, trusting the new, worked out very well for the Cleveland Browns as we secure our 5th AFC North title, 12-4 on the season. We're at 92 overall, which is 1 point overall higher than what we were last year. Now, the down news, Montgomery, the hidden dev wide receiver they drafted, came out with star because that's mostly what we get at this point. But Shepard, very good defensively. We played outstanding. I wonder where we are rank-wise. It feels like offense was what was carrying us. So we're the 11th offense in the NFL. We were the first defense. That's what I thought. Look at the stats here. Gary Shepard. I mean, that's not amazing. You know, if we didn't win this year, and that's the kind of year Gary Shepard put up after moving on from Baker Mayfield, I'd be a little cheesed. Wonder what Baker did, just for comparison, because Baker would have been the big dog to be signed in free agency. Let's see, Mr. Mayfield, 23 touchdowns, 8 picks, the quarterback for the 9. I mean, that's not that much better than what we did. So overall, we didn't get burned on that one. Nick Chubb, almost 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns, receiving 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns for our rookie Montgomery out of Texas. I like seeing that. Defensively, over 100 tackles for Troy Dye. We got, he's amazing. Myles Garrett is the best defensive end in Madden sim. 23 sacks after breaking the record year 1. He almost breaks the old record again. We're going to look at the final career stats for some of these players. Obviously, it stings we're not going to be able to see Baker Mayfield or OBJ, but we're going to see some of these other guys. 12.5 sacks from Melvin Bush, which was good. A couple picks there. 3 picks, Greedy Williams. Yearly awards, MVP went to Jalen Hurts. Weird. Lamar Jackson's there in the AFC. Myles Garrett, your defensive player of the year. For individual awards, probably only Myles Garrett, which we do at defensive line. So, I mean, we are here at the end of the road. Before we, actually, let's find out who we're taking on in the playoffs first, and then we'll look at the final kind of stats for some of the more notable players that we've had. And it's all, who else? Who else but the Tennessee Titans? So every time we make the playoffs, it feels like we have to play Tennessee at some point. But look at the career stats, the career numbers for some of our players here. I mean, technically, we could probably look at Baker Mayfield and know that that's mostly what he had with us. And it's not, 300 touchdowns to 100 picks, 3-to-1 touchdown to pick ratio is pretty good. Not as good as some of the other quarterbacks we've had in these rebuilds, though. Run the ball, Nick Chubb has been sensational. Almost 17,000 rushing yards and 128 touchdowns. That surely has to be second most because, Zeke's just a freak. Nick Chubb finished with better stats than Saquon Barkley, better stats than McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, a lot of these more familiar running backs. Receiving, I mean, we have no one here. I mean, those receiving numbers are pretty good, but no one else has actually been here that long. Defensively, however, Mac Wilson's been here since day one, 830 tackles, 26 sacks. But look at that, man. Myles Garrett closing it. He'll probably break the record if we would have kept playing. He's only in year 11. You know, he plays away 34, 35, 200 sacks is the record. He would break it. He's the best edge rusher in football history. Let's see where they stand by records. So passing yards, I guess we could just see his Baker Mayfield there. No. Touchdowns, Baker Mayfield, no. Rushing yards, Nick Chubb, third all-time in NFL history. I don't know if he would ever catch Emmitt Smith. I feel like Nick Chubb's getting pretty close on that bubble if he's going to retire or not. For touchdowns, he's right there in the top 5. Probably just be sacks at this point. Yeah, and Myles Garrett's third all-time, and he's only 32. And you figure Reggie White probably played a couple more years. Bruce Smith played till he's like 58. So Myles Garrett, one of the greatest of all time. Glad that we got to experience that in this rebuild, but we're still in year 10 with the young guns. We want to go on and win another Super Bowl, and it all starts here by beating the Tennessee Titans. Papa Bear this run. Let's see what we can do with the Young Bucks. I do want to get in for a drive for sure, just to feel how Gary Shepard really operates. How does he work? But we have actually kind of owned the Tennessee Titans. Feels like every time we play them, we beat them. And this has been like I don't know why. It's a little mini rivalry that has kind of uprooted itself here in this realistic rebuild. It's a low-scoring game. Feels like whatever team has the best fourth quarter is going to win. But defense is coming strong. We have the number 1 defense in the league. We have the number 1 defense in the league and the number 1 edge rusher probably in NFL history in Myles Garrett. But it does look like we're going to have to come in here on the final drive. Third down. Down 4, have to get a touchdown. I feel like we need to pay a little respect here. They want us to do all these things. We got to run it. Let's go inside. Let's go halfback sting to the best offensive player easily on this Browns team throughout this rebuild, Nick Chubb. And we're really in 4-down territory here, and he gets it. Nice little conversion. Over 100 yards on the day. Not surprising. He really is the offense. We're in the red zone. Third down alert in the red zone. We are in 4-down territory for sure. Kind of plays we call in here dig. They like the digs. Lacoste, the superstar tight end, probably should be our first read. We'll have Nick Chubb actually pass pro here because I do want to go to Lacoste. He's going to be our... Oh! Hey! Good grab. Good grab. Let's go no huddle. Oh, Kara, just the computer get a touchdown. That's fine. That's fine by me. We did all the hard work. Pat myself on the back. There's a dub. Wasn't great play by a quarterback, but our defense... stayed strong. They had the better quarterback. He'd probably get the edge to Jordan Love. But Nick Chubb just controlled the line of scrimmage, controlled the clock. Congrats. We're moving on. Conference Championship Super Bowl on the line against the 9-7 Raiders. Let's just kind of peek what the Raiders are looking at this point in the career. Patrick Surtain, Micah Parsons, Josh Jacobs, Renfro, Addison, Zach Cunningham, who I think actually got Defensive Player of the Year. They got some random guy, Epineza. Solid team. Looks like, obviously, their bigger names are on the defensive side of the ball. So, given the fact we have the number 1 defense in the league, this could be another very low-scoring game with the Super Bowl on the line. Let's get it. Same kind of deal. We'll pop in if things get a little bit weird. And it looks like we're playing very well right now. 10-zip lead in the first quarter. I didn't think Oakland even sniffed across the 50 there. But able to get a touchdown to keep it relatively close. 10-point game. If we can get into that at half, I'm going to be pretty damn happy. This is just domination. We're showing some of the veterans, especially our defense, man. Our offense is full of young guys. We got rid of Baker, got rid of Odell. Well, Odell retired. But this defense has been here and done that. These are all established guys on the defensive side of the ball that have won a lot of playoff games. And when push comes to shove, I'm going to expect them here to get a stop. When we put points up, third down alert, kick the field goal. What? What's going on here? Can just neither team make a field goal? Fourth down alert. Okay. Rebuild on the line, even though we won a Super Bowl. What is going on with these missed kicks? We'll go slot shallow to Montgomery. Right underneath the middle of the defense there. Unless that line... I mean, that is Micah Parsons. He's a sensational linebacker. Should be able to keep up in coverage. But Montgomery, tremendous speed out of Texas. Good enough to make him the number 5 pick in the draft. Gets just enough separation to keep this drive going. And, of course, they can't do it themselves, so we're coming in 4th and 7. Don't really want to 4-vert, so we'll go with this. Let's have Chubb do the wheel. I feel like Nick Chubb with the backfield might be the best option here. We chuck it short. He has armbar! Come on! Use your X Factor. Use your superstar ability. not mad at it. If I had to trust one player on the offense to get that first down, to get contact, break contact, and move the chains, it would have been that check down to Nick Chubb all day long. I don't know. He's old. He's old at this point. He's like 33. So that's how the rebuild unfortunately ends. A 27-24 defeat. But, I mean, better rebuild, man. Like I said, we were coming into this part 2. We went 35 years without a Super Bowl, and we ended up finishing this Browns rebuild with 5 AFC North titles and a Super Bowl. So finally back in the win column, a successful rebuild. We're 3-3, 3 wins, 3 rebuilds with no Super Bowls. So we need the next team to for sure tilt the scale over the 500 record, get us back in the win column. So let me know in the comments what team you want to see next for the realistic rebuild. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit, well you talking and talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. I'm way too clever. Look at the kid, Mr. Consistent, I'm doing it big. Way too persistent on taking your big.